Hi, everybody. Welcome to Coping Skills Tool Belt series. This is yoga breathing to evoke eternal calm. I am Tana Markson, owner and director of Mind Soother Therapy Center and Rockstar Practice, a business consulting service for therapists. And today is Thursday, February 4th. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome Brittany Blackshear, who is an amazing yoga teacher. She can tell you all about herself. I have had the pleasure of working with Brittany. She has been doing some yoga online for our team, which has been really amazing. She just has a beautiful way about her. And I said, please come and share this with our Coping Skills Tool Belt workshop attendees. And she has so graciously volunteered her time. So take it away, Brittany.
Okay, hi, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. So many awesome locations from around the US, around the world. So I'm really excited to teach these techniques and give a little insight to you guys as professionals. So all the information that you hear today is holistic and Ayurvedic information. So it may go along the traditional lines of medicine. Some of it actually complements and agrees with the traditional lines of medicine. So keep that in mind. Remember, every exercise that we do is completely optional. We completely encourage you to participate, but if you have any existing injuries or conditions, please use caution when practicing these exercises. Let's go ahead and get started. But before I do, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. We have this beautiful PowerPoint presentation. So welcome to the workshop. Of course, my name is Brittany Blackshear, and I am an RIYT 200. What is a RIYT 200? This means that I'm a registered yoga teacher by the Yoga Alliance. The Yoga Alliance is the largest and most prestigious organization of yoga teachers, not only in the United States, but all across the world. There are hundreds of thousands of yoga teachers with this active designation. The RIYT 200 means that I completed 200 hours of yoga instruction, yoga philosophy, yoga ideas, and yoga principles in my training. And just a little bit about me, I started teaching, I'd say December of 2018. I graduated at Boca Raton, and I just went off the bat, started teaching right away. Why I started teaching yoga. So I have a knack for simplifying things. Yoga can seem a little bit intimidating, a little bit complex, especially when you start to get into the breath, start to get into philosophies and chakras and this and that. So I have a knack for simplifying things. I believe that yoga should be accessible to everyone. So even if you're not super spiritual, you don't want to get into like the super intellectual, scientific side of it. You just want to relax and get away from that. Have a knack for really simplifying that. Another reason why I got into yoga is representation, wanting to see more teachers that look like myself, and then also being someone's first time taking yoga, seeing a teacher like me and going beyond that stereotype. And then also, this is the best health insurance you can have, being a yoga instructor. There's so many great benefits to being a yoga instructor, meeting new people, interacting. Yoga is said to actually lengthen the spine, and over practicing it for years, you could actually grow taller, 2 to 3 inches. Some people dispute that myth, but it's very much true. And I'm still working on being 5'11", so it's a little tidbit. But yeah, since I've been starting teaching yoga since December of 2018, I've acquired over 700 hours of teaching experience. I'll tell you more about that towards the end of class. I actually have a profile on the Yoga Alliance website that you guys can look at and view my past experience and view what I'm doing right now.
Brittany, can I stop you for 1 second? I'm going to make a request that you turn the music down 1 notch.
One notch?
Just so we can hear you ever more clearly.
Sure.
Yeah, better. Thank you. I was struggling to hear you. Oops.
No worries at all. How about that? Can you still kind of hear it?
I don't, but I think it's better because we'll hear you more clearly.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So
okay, go back. There we go.
you. And sorry about that,
That's
everyone.
okay. That's perfect. I really want to hear you clearly, and I was struggling. So wonderful. Continue on.
Okay. So yes, over 700 hours of teaching experience. What, like I said, we can talk about that more after class and your questions. So with that 700 hours of teaching experience, what do I do? Corporate and professional groups like you guys that all have your designations or your therapists across the country. You help so many people. I've done it for teachers. I've done it for real estate professionals, as well as private group classes, multifamily luxury facilities. I go into multifamily apartment luxury complexes and teach classes there. I also do special events, such as I used to teach at the amphitheater in my city, and as well as government sponsored programs. I currently right now teach for a Green Dot program, which is state funded, and it helps victims of domestic violence and survivors of domestic violence. So I'm really proud of that. That's just some of the pictures. The one on the bottom right is at a beautiful multifamily facility over in Boca Raton. The one on the left is the real estate professionals that I told you guys about that I do. And the one on the top left is what I did with Hustle Training 360 when we had a weekly class at a beachside community. And that was really beautiful to do that. But enough about me. So why yoga? And what about yoga? There's some key things that I kind of want to tell you about yoga, and it'll also kind of help answer your questions. What isn't yoga? So most important thing that I love about yoga, and many people across the world love about yoga, is that yoga creates a sense of community. So these are all pictures of the participants and the guests, members of Hustle Training 360. On the left is a class that we did beachside. We also did a yoga for Christmas class that was super cute. So something to keep in mind if you want to virtually have a yoga Christmas party or a yoga Valentine's Day party. And then also private sessions. We have an online community where members can talk to each other and share recipes and talk about their day, their yoga journey, their fitness journey. So it's really great. I have a class that I do in person, and when I first started, a lot of the people didn't know each other, and now they meet each other for like lunch after they do yoga. It's like a group of like 3 or 4 of them, and it's really adorable. So yoga really brings people together in one or two ways. The fact that they love it and they're like, they get together and they talk about how much they love it, or they're like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. They get together and there's camaraderie in the struggle. So it goes both ways. And I think that's a really cool thing about yoga. A little tidbit, a lot of the poses and things that you're going to hear today are written in Sanskrit. Now, Sanskrit is the ancient, it's a dead language, just kind of similar to Latin is. It originates from India. So a lot of our words, including pranayama itself, which is the whole basis for this whole workshop, is in that language. So it's funny. There's a sense of community because no matter where you go in the world, a lot of teachers like myself will say this language, say the poses in the language. You can go to a class in Peru, you can go to a class in Turkey, you can go to a class in China. If you have a teacher that speaks that fluent language of yoga, it doesn't matter if you're not speaking the language wherever you are, wherever you're visiting, wherever you're living at the moment. So that's a really cool and unique thing, which makes it unique to something in comparison to like a Zumba or maybe a bar class. So some key ideas of yoga. So also will further answer your questions like what exactly is yoga? We all pretty much have a little idea. If we've ever watched any movie ever or TV show ever, it's basically people sitting like this, palms in prayer, and om, and that's what we kind of get the idea that yoga is, but it's actually so many things. It's basically everything. So let me explain that a little bit further. So yoga is unity. So the word yoga itself means to yoke, so to bring together. And what exactly this unity is the unity of mind, body, spirit. So yoga recognizes the body, the mind, and the spirit as a unified whole. So this is really similar to what's practiced and what's said in holistic medicine. So whenever we have a lot of stress going on in our life, yoga believes that it may manifest itself physically, start to get tightening in the shoulders, maybe the neck is compressed, maybe the jaw starts to get stiff, you start to knit up the brow. Yoga believes that all this is interconnected together. And when we focus on the whole self, not just our physical body, but also what's going on mentally, what's going on inwardly, what's going on spiritually with that spirit work kind of scares a lot of people, especially in our Western culture. Yoga is ancient, it's from India, and it believes that all these things are intertwined together: spiritual mind, physical body, emotional, as well as internal. So it's all together. This is probably the most important key of yoga that is beyond just poses. A lot of people just think it's doing a warrior one or doing a down dog. And you can have the best warrior one, but if whatever's going on in between the ears is just a lot of just craziness or just a lot of uneasiness or a lot of unhappiness or a lot of anger, there is no unified whole. The body is in great shape. The body's doing what it's doing, but that internalness is being ignored. That internal struggle, it will start to actually affect the physical body. So like I just said, yoga is beyond asana. So there's a quote, it's in Sanskrit. It says, Yoga Chitta Rita Naroto. And this is said by Patanjali. He's said to be kind of the father of yoga, just like Sigmund Freud is kind of the father of psychology. Patanjali believed that yoga is right now. What does it mean? Yoga is all around us. By me volunteering my time to you, I'm helping you guys. By you listening, you're helping yourself and essentially going to help others by helping yourself. So yoga is continuous. Yoga is ever changing. Yoga is ever happening. Yoga is beyond asana. So we could go in our car and park and go to a great studio, but the minute we get in our car and drive down the street and someone cuts us off, we're like, you know, it's beyond just the poses. It's a whole lifestyle of mindfulness. Once again, that unified whole to emotional self, spiritual self, and helping others, loving others. There's so many principles in yoga that are absolutely beautiful. At the end, I kind of put a space for questions and book recommendations. One of the really great books, real quick, that you could read if you're more interested in is the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which I just mentioned that Patanjali is kind of the father of yoga. Kind of before BC, wrote all these principles of what exactly yoga is. So remember, whenever you think that yoga is just kind of our Western it's so beyond that. It's internal, it's spiritual, it's what you do, and it's all around you. It's ever changing and it's omnipresent. So just real quick, some of Patanjali's 8 limbs of yoga and how it's going to relate to exactly what we're doing today. So we're taught in yoga teaching training, and we're also taught, I teach to my students the 8 limbs of yoga, because it's really important to know that it's beyond just the poses. In yoga teacher training, they probably teach us about 30 hours of poses, and the other 170 hours are based on philosophies, based on principles of yoga. So number 1, we have self-restraint, which is, like I said, the analogy of getting in your car and someone cuts you off, kind of restraining yourself. You're allowed to react, you're just not allowed to overreact. Niyama, observances to life, being mindful. That's where the mindfulness starts to come in. That's where the consciousness starts to come in. That's where presence starts to come in, by observing and seeing ourselves in the world around us and seeing how our actions or our existence affects others, and just going through life so conscious and so aware and so present. Like, let's do a presence check right now. How many people are thinking about what are we going to eat for lunch? Or it's like, are you just like, I'm here, I'm looking at the slide, am I listening? And that takes a lot of practice. So don't mean to pick up anybody, don't mean to beat anyone up, just takes practice. No worries at all. The third one is asana. And not to kind of put asana down there or say it's anything bad. Those are yoga poses. So you see asana in a lot of classes. Warrior 1, Warrior 2, down dog poses. But remember, see that there's 8 limbs and asana is just one limb of the 8. Pranayama, which is what we're focusing on today. Breath control, controlling the breath. By controlling the breath, you control your life force, you control your energy. The difference, life and death, is that one breath as soon as you stop breathing. So just something to keep that in mind. Pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses, closing the eyes, maybe a plugging of the nose or a nostril, closing the ears. So you're blocking out all outside noises and distractions and putting you more into that niyama, the observances, what's going on right in front of you. Dharana, intense focus, steady mind. This comes with practice. Those of us that are really scholarly, I aspire to be very scholarly like some of you, have that just natural concentration, natural focus. Maybe you're athletic and you have that natural concentration, or maybe you just practice on your concentration. Some of these breaths we will be doing for an extended period of time. So it's just kind of keeping yourself in that present, because it's very easy that a pin drops or something falls and you're like, what's that? And it's kind of like the outside forces are pulling you apart. Each day you get out of bed, there's outside forces that are just vying for your attention, that just really want your attention. So you're just kind of focusing and honing in and telling yourself, I'm giving myself permission to be fully present in this moment. So that's a dharana. Dhyana is contemplation, or as we know it as meditation. So we'll get more into that, maybe even perhaps in another session. Samahi is oneness. So having that whole unified whole come together. Some people in other cultures call it nirvana. So it's just, and some people in other cultures or religions call it heaven, but it's that oneness and that peace when mind, body, and soul fully connect to each other and you're just fully immersed into that present. It's complete bliss, even if it's just for a moment. So those are the 8 limbs of yoga. And today we will be focusing on the limb, which is yoga pranayama. So what is pranayama? So prana translates to life and yama is force. So pranayama is the intentional and practice control of one's life force using techniques and also using methods to control the breath, to constrict the breath, to lengthen the breath, to manipulate the breath. So I'm really excited to share this with you guys today. Once again, all the exercises are completely optional, but try as many as you can. You might just surprise yourself. Before I got a test from a doctor before I became a yoga instructor, I forget the proper name for the test, but basically what it does is it measures your lung capacity, and that lung capacity has expanded for me so much by practicing pranayama on a regular basis and also just being a yoga teacher and using that pranayama in our everyday life. So some of these exercises will be really beneficial for you. So when you are in your car and you do have that moment where someone comes and cuts you off, instead of being like, you can start to control the breath. And it may seem a little bit difficult at first, but over time with increased practice and also increased presence and increased awareness, you'll start to become better and better and start to control your breath. Once you learn how to control these life force in your body, it'll start to allow you to control other functions in your body a lot better and get you closer to that samadhi, closer to that unified whole within the body. So there's 3 parts of the breath in yoga. Once again, these are Sanskrit names. So pukra is inhalation. When you inhale in, so that's what we call it in Sanskrit in yoga. Kumbhaka is suspension. So that slight hold, it could be a purposeful hold of the breath, intentional, or you could be a natural breather where when you inhale, there's a small pause, there's a small hold. Rishaka is the exhalation, emptying the air out of the lungs and letting the breath go. So remember, Puraka, Kumbhaka, and Rishaka. Kind of sounds like lines of the Lion King, I know, but it's really cool names. The more you get into Sanskrit, the more you realize this is just so, it's just so fun to say. So objectives of today. So things that you can take away from this workshop is learning breathing techniques to manipulate positive energy systems in the body, which is the basis of pranayama, controlling the life force. Eliminating toxins and excess carbon dioxide in your body, which I think everybody would be interested in, especially as of lately, wearing these masks out and about and wearing these masks about others, we might have more of an increase of carbon dioxide in our body just for having that in front of our nose, in front of our mouth, and just breathing some of that back in. So I can teach you those techniques to empty that carbon dioxide back out. Whenever you tell someone that this helps a little, especially with wearing the mask lately, I guarantee you if they weren't interested in pranayama before, they'll definitely be interested now. And also the obvious, to create relaxation, calm, and focus. So once again, you can use these techniques in everyday life, you know, when you have moments of stress, or maybe you have a moment of bliss and you need to come into the present. Sometimes great things happen to us, but we're so used to being stressed, or we're so used to being busy, we can't see it right in front of us. So when something good's happened and I'm still kind of back there because something not so great happens, sometimes I just take a simple breath. And it's almost like a reset. It's almost like hitting the reset button, like, here I am. This is what it is. This is what's happening. And I like it. So what you need for this workshop is somewhere to sit comfortably. If you don't have a yoga mat, no worries. Maybe you can come to a really comfortable space on your carpet, or you could sit down on a towel if you'd like to. And then also, a lot of us are at home. So I want you to grab some tissues, especially with one of the breaths that we'll be doing. You'll be surprised that you might have a little bit of drainage or a little bit of drippage. Not super, super common, but just in case, be prepared. And of course, if you are in a public place, you will be touching your face for part of the time. So if you need hand sanitizer, go ahead and grab that. So before we start with our breathing exercises, we're going to start with a little meditation and light asana. So I want you to come down to your comfortable seated position. So for me, it's going to be a cross-legged position. For you, if the complete cross is a little bit uncomfortable, you can take your legs out in front of you and just simply cross your ankles if that feels a little bit better. Or if you are a yogi, you can do Padmasana or lotus pose, half lotus, whatever feels better for you. So let's go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Relax your shoulders down your back. Take your elbows back behind you. Place your palms down on your knees. Soften your fingertips. And close your eyes. Give yourself a moment to come onto your mat, not just physically, but also mentally. So we start to come into the present moment. And the easiest way to come into the present moment is to focus on the prana, to focus on the breath. Start to breathe in and out through the nose. Keep the lips closed. If you feel like your tongue is glued to the roof of the mouth, just peel it away. You may be really concentrating on breathing, and that's beautiful, but unknit the brow. Let's knit it together. Smooth out the muscles in the face. Sit up tall, but relax your body further. Give yourself a big breath in and a long breath out. Another big breath in. Long breath out. With your eyes closed, start to look inward. Notice how you feel this afternoon without judgment. Notice how your body feels in the space. Does it still want to move? Is it embracing stillness? And without judgment, let's go back to our breath. Notice your breath, the rhythm of the breath, the rise and fall of the chest, and the quality of your breath this afternoon, if it's full or if it's shallow, without judgment. Take a deep breath in, then a long breath out. Another deep breath in, and long breath out. Imagine a white light located at the base of the spine. And the white light illuminating the base of the spine. Beginning to melt away any tension in the low back. And on your inhale, that white light traveling up the spine, stopping at your navel, illuminating your core, and the core of who you are as a person, your convictions, what you believe in, your intuition, honoring exactly who you are as a person, and finding a sense of gratitude for who you are as a person. On your next inhale, that white light traveling up to your heart and pausing, shining bright. A heart full of love, full of compassion. As a therapist, you help so many people. You put love into all your work. You put effort into all you do. So many selfless actions you do with love. The core of your being is connected to how much you love. You have a great capacity for love. You deserve love. You give and receive love freely. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Another deep breath in. Long breath out. That white light located at your heart travels up to your third eye. And with your eyes closed, starting to look inward, maybe the eyes begin to cross just slightly. And once again, honoring your intuition, honoring that inner being that lives inside each and every one of us. Tapping into the inner self, honoring the inner self, and honoring the inner self through this practice of meditation. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Another deep breath in. Long breath out. Visualize that white light at your third eye. On your next exhale, that white light traveling back down to your heart. Take another inhale. Exhale that white light traveling down to your navel. Take another inhale. Exhale that white light traveling down to the base of the spine. Kundalini energy. And awakening that Kundalini energy. Take another breath in. Take another breath out. Let's do one more inhale in. And one more exhale out. Hands go to heart space. Press your thumb against your heart. Bow your head in gratitude. Remember through all things to honor the inner being, to constantly speak your truth. Don't forget about following your intuition. Even on the path of intellectual, follow the intuition, honor the intuition. And remember that internal being that lives inside each and every one of us. Bow to yourself in gratitude and bow to that inner being. Namaste. Let's lift our head back up, open up our eyes, and just do some simple light asana exercises. Place your left arm over to your left. Walk your fingertips over to your left. Take a bend into your left elbow. Lean over towards your left. Let your elbow come to a hover, or you can rest it down to the earth. Inner spiral your chest up towards the ceiling. Drop your right shoulder back behind you. Reach your right fingertips up and reach them over to the right. Right bicep by the ears, side body bend. Bring your fingertips in close together. Continue to reach over to your left. Take a breath in and a breath out. One more breath in and one more breath out. Rise back up. Place your right hand on top of your head and just gently pull that right ear towards the shoulder. Elbow's going to point out to the side. Keep the eyes open, or feel free to close your eyes. That nice stretch in your neck from sitting down in your office chair, doing all the work that you do for others. Remember, open heart, generous heart. Breath in. Breath out. Again, breath in. And breath out. Lower right fingertips down to the earth. Walk it over to the right while we go to the other side. Take a bend into your right elbow. Reach your left arm high to the sky. And now left fingertips go over to your right. Inner spiral that chest up towards the ceiling. Go as far over as your body will allow. Well, honor your body in the space. If you want to stay up a little bit higher, no worries. Breath in. And long breath out. Again, breath in. And breath out. Rise back up, and let's take that neck stretch on the other side. Left hand is going to go on top of the head. Point your elbow out to the side and just take the left ear towards the left shoulder. Expose the right side of the neck. You may even get a little bit of engagement of the left side, kind of in the middle of the back, towards the left side rib cage. Take a breath in and a breath out. One more time, breath in, breath out. Bring your head back to a neutral position. Place your hands back down on your knees. 2 more exercises, and then we'll begin our pranayama practice. So just start with some simple neck rolls. And since we just stretched out the muscles in the neck, take your time as you move the cervical spine. Drop your head back. Brush your ears against the shoulders. Drop the head And move with patience, move with grace. This is your body we're talking about. This is like one of the most important things. Treat yourself like you would treat royalty. Move with control, move with grace. While you roll your neck, if you find any spaces of energy with stagnant energy, any stiffness, maybe linger into that space. Follow the information breadcrumbs. Maybe your body's trying to tell you something. Take it in the opposite direction. Brush the ear against the shoulder. Drop the head. Keep breathing in deep. If the mind begins to wander, come back to the breath. The breath is the basis of all movement in yoga asana. So focusing on that breath will allow us to follow our intuition. Our body will tell us how it wants to move. As long as you honor your body in that space, your practice will feel fulfilling. Bring your head and your neck back to a neutral position. And then from here, we're just going to take some simple shoulder rolls up and back, up and back. Pulling those shoulders back, shrugging the shoulders up by the ears. So stress, tension loves to hide in our shoulders, in our back. Roll it forward, but we never want to give those things a home in our body. Roll up, back, soften the fingertips if you need to. Up and back. And let's just do one more. Up and back. Nice. Bring that motion to stillness. Right now, we should be pretty relaxed and do some breathing exercises. So let's go ahead and start with our first one. So the first breath we're going to talk about is Ujjayi breathing. So you can uncross your legs if they were crossed. Give them a little break if you'd like to. So Ujjayi means one who is victorious. So this is a victorious breath. And they say it's victorious because it's very audible. It commands attention. So it doesn't even command attention just from other people. It commands attention from yourself. If you're someone like me that gets super distracted easily, or you just really need to focus on your breath, this is a really good breath for beginners. You'll learn why. So this is the most common breath in most modern yoga classes. Doesn't matter where you go around the world, you're going to hear this breath because there's always going to be beginners and there's always going to be people that need to distract themselves from themselves. So it's a great breath. Also, I didn't write on the slide, but this is a natural heating breath. So I heard that some of you guys are in Minneapolis, North Dakota. I am in South Florida, but I'm still very cold. So this is the body's natural heating breath. So when you do Ujjayi, you can actually raise your body's internal temperature by about 2 degrees. So that's a really good tidbit to know. If you're cold, Ujjayi breath. Even if you're just driving or shopping or doing something seemingly mundane, you can warm yourself up. So this breath is excellent for practicing while in motion. Some of the other breaths that I show you you would want to do more stationary just because you're just using and taking away so much oxygen. But this one's a really good one. So kind of like we did earlier when we were in meditation, I said breathe in and breathe out, and just kind of like putting the arms aside, breathe in, breathe out. It's a really good one in motion. So those of you that do yoga, you may be familiar with it when you're doing a sun salutation. Inhale to upward facing dog, exhale to downward facing dog. It connects the breath with the movement. So, and this is also another good beginner breath because it introduces you to controlled breathing. It makes you aware of your breath because it is loud, it is audible, it is like an oceanic sound, like a rhythmic sounding breath. So with that being said, this breath strengthens your diaphragm, and it may actually help improve your core muscle stability because as the diaphragm contracts, the lungs expand. So it's kind of working out that transverse abdominal muscles and just strengthening out your diaphragm. So it's always a good thing if you're a swimmer, if you exercise and you're looking for more stamina, if you're training for a half marathon, if you're training for a marathon, if you just want to strengthen out that diaphragm to better do Pilates, there's so many benefits to this very simple and very beginner friendly breath. So we're going to practice this one together with Ujjayi. So come back to your comfortable seated position, which get to stretch out our legs a little bit. So I'm going to keep my eyes open. You can keep your eyes open as well. Place the palms down on the knees. So all we're going to do is inhale through the nose while constricting the throat. I'll demonstrate for you. So think about Darth Vader for all my Star Wars fans. It's kind of like you're keeping the lips closed, but you're fogging up a mirror. So those that are still trying to get it, place your right hand in front of your face and inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. So it's almost like you're fogging up a mirror. You want that kind of heat, that exhale coming from the nose, that you can kind of feel it on your palm. So we're going to do a few rounds of Ujjayi. Actually, we'll do about 2 minutes of Ujjayi. Place your palms down on your knees. We're going to close our eyes, get nice and comfortable, and we're going to go ahead and begin. Twenty more seconds. Awesome, guys. So notice how you feel. How does the diaphragm feel? How does the throat feel? Your nose, your sinuses? Do you feel like you need some of that tissue right away? Did you even need the tissue? Did you think about it? What were you thinking about where you were breathing? Were you focusing on the breath? Did you get distracted? Any outside noises, distractions? So it's a really good beginner's breath because After practice, time after time, you'll focus more and more on your breath. And you'll kind of feel a sense of elation because it's blocking out everything around you. Some people call this a really obnoxious breath. I love it because it forces you to focus. It builds that concentration, that contemplation. Breath like this is often done before and after meditation to increase concentration. So we're going to do Ujjayi again, but this time we're going to have a count of breath. So we want our inhales and our exhales to be balanced, equal amount of time. We're going to start with a 4-count breath, then a 5-count, and then go to a 6-second breath. So remember, I'm counting for you. All you have to do is breathe. Let's go ahead and start with the 4-count breath. Exhale, empty all the air out of your lungs. And let's inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 more. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Final one, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's take it out to a 5-count breath. Breathe, grab a sip of water if you need to. Readjust yourself on your sits bones, hands down on the knees, or you can have a nice grip. Sometimes I switch my grip and really grab a hold of the knees, bring the chest forward, bring the heart forward. This forces me to sit up a little bit taller. So kind of watch your posture as you do some of these poses. You can get more lung air capacity as you sit up taller, rather than if you round your spine and kind of dump your weight down. So let's go ahead and start with a 5-count breath. Exhale, take all the air out of your lungs. And let's inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deep breath, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let it go. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Deeper. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 more. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let it go. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Final one. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And release. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. Stop and notice. How do you feel? How does the nose feel? How about the sinuses? You feel a little bit more clear, almost like clarity. You're sending that oxygen through the brain, sending oxygen to the muscles, even though you're just sitting down. Take a sip of water if you need to. Readjust yourself. We're just going to do a few rounds for the 6 count breath, but remember, you can practice this at home. Start small with the 4 count, go up to 5, and then maybe 6, maybe even 7 and 8 at your own pace. So,
Whitney, it's Dana. I just want to tell you that we have about 6 minutes left. So I'm sure you have a lot more that you want to teach us. Just keep in mind that we end on time, and I want to give everybody a minute to cool down before we end.
Okay, I see. Okay, so we'll just do the 6 count breath for 2 rounds. So exhale,
Great.
let all the air go. And let's go ahead and inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let it go. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome, everyone. Let's move to the next breath. Go ahead and stretch out those legs if you need to. So Nadi Shodhana is alternate nostril breathing. So this one is a really complicated breath. It's one of my favorite breaths because done in holistic studies, it actually helped women that have breast cancer. So the really great thing about this breath is the purification of the body's passages. Nadi means nadi, so passages in the body. Shodhana is pure, so purifying those passages. You see the illustration where it's like in and out through the nose and just letting all that stale CO2 go out of the body. So alternate nostril breathing. Proper technique is that we plug one nostril, inhale through the other nostril, exhale through the nostril, and plug the other one. So you want to take your hands into a position where that you have like this. You have the thumb, and then you have the ring and the pinky finger exposed. The middle and the pointer finger are hidden, and then the thumb finger. If this is a little bit difficult for you, you can always just use your pointer finger and use your thumb for reference. So what we're going to do is we're going to start over on the left side. So we're going to use the thumb and plug the right side of the nostril, and we'll do this together. So exhale out of the left nostril, plug it, and then exhale out of the other nostril. So I messed that up. It is a little bit complicated, so let's do it again. Inhale through right nostril, plug it, exhale through left nostril. There we go. Keep right plugged. Inhale through left nostril, plug it, exhale through right nostril. Inhale, plug, exhale. Inhale, plug, exhale. Again, inhale, plug, exhale. Again, one more time. Inhale, plug, exhale. Nice. So with Nadi Shodhana, what you want to do is a count breath. So we're going to take it to a count. I'll count for you. So go ahead and have your thumb plugging against your right nostril and have your pinky and your ring finger exposed. Let's inhale through left for 1, 2, 3. Plug. Exhale out of right. 1, 2, 3. Inhale through right. 1, 2, 3. Plug. Exhale through left. 1, 2, 3. Again, inhale through left. Plug. 1, 2, 3. Exhale through right. 1, 2, 3. Inhale through right. Plug. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Practice this more and more. And this is one of the breaths where I said you would especially need tissue, because a lot of times when your sinuses are clogged, This is a really good one for emptying out the sinuses, Nadi Shodhana. So a lot of, like I said before, holistic doctors give women that have breast cancer this type of breathing because it's supposed to clear the passages for the body.
So Brittany, it's 1 minute to 1.
Yes.
So we're either going to wrap up or we can do maybe one more breath. And those of you that want to stay on for 5 more minutes, feel free. How does that sound to you, Brittany?
That
Maybe
sounds
do one more. And then what I'm going to do is I posted your contact information in the chat. And if anyone would like more information on how to work with Brittany, just feel free to contact her directly through the website. She's amazing and wonderful. I've done yoga with her. I've done breathing with her, and it's super calming. So let's end with your final breath. And I hope a few of you can stay with us. And if not, feel free to visit the recording, which you will get emailed to you by tomorrow. And we look forward to seeing everybody soon. But let's share that final breath with us.
okay. I will. Let me go back to view. I just skipped to the end of my slideshow.
Great. Lots of amazing content to share.
It is, and it's funny. So this is how you see why yoga teacher training is so many hours, because it's so completely dense. So going back to the 3 counts of the breath, or 3 parts of the breath: the kumbhaka, the suspension, the holding, that hold at the top when you naturally do it in your breath. This has amazing benefits because it's the regeneration of new tissue in the brain and increased production of anti-inflammatory mediators. So what it does is this collaborates with your immune system and creates that anti-inflammatory effect to the body. So think about holding your breath like taking a spoonful of turmeric, but once again, there is the yin and the yang. There's a balance. So too much holding of the breath can have negative effects, but there's actually a lot of positive effects to holding the breath. So instead of going over this jargon, we're going to do exactly what we did before. So let's try it with Ujjayi in combination. So what we're going to do is come back to that comfortable seated position. Place your palms back down on your knees. Sit up tall. Exhale, let all the air go. And inhale. Hold. Exhale. Let it go. Let's do it 5 more times. Inhale, deep breath in. Hold. Exhale. Let it go. Again, inhale. Hold. Exhale. Let it go. 1 more time. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Let it go. And what's really great about this method is that it really helps circulate all that CO2 out of the body, and just any of that CO2 that's kind of in the bottom of the lungs, like it helps clear it up. So there's a lot of really, really great health benefits to this pose. I'm so excited that you guys were able to join us for this breathing workshop. There's so much content, there's so many parts, it's so much intricacies, there's so much benefits to all these breathing exercises. I look forward to seeing you again. Once again, the contact information is in the workshop. So it's hustletraining360.com/yoga. My name is Brittany Blackshear. Remember, I am a registered yoga teacher, and I also have an online profile at Yoga Alliance. If you want to look up my name, it should pop right up, Brittany Blackshear, into Google. Thank you so much for your time. And
thank you, Brittany. Thank you, everybody. Once again, I want to honor you for taking this time for you. As you can see, there's a wealth of knowledge and information. If you're at all interested in yoga, I highly recommend getting in contact with Brittany, and she can do a one-on-one or maybe a family Zoom yoga session or breathing session with you. So have a wonderful, blessed week, everyone. See you next Thursday. Bye, Brittany. Thank you.